Long before an army came into view, their presence was felt. Across the ancient world, the approach of a hostile force was dominated by low-frequency vibrations rolling through the earth, well before the first sword was drawn. Historical accounts frequently describe sound as a force of literal destruction. Legends like the walls of Jericho tell of massive mud brick fortifications collapsing under the weight of ram's horns and the shouts of an attacking army. This diagram compares the energy of an acoustic wave to the structural density of a mud brick wall. In reality, human shouts and animal horns produce frequencies that lack the massive kinetic energy required to shatter high-density barriers. Physics suggests that if these walls fell, the cause was likely seismic activity rather than acoustic resonance. Commanders used sound to target the mind. By distorting an enemy's perception of distance and size, they triggered deep-seated threat detection systems to induce panic before physical contact was ever made. The Iron Age Celtic Carnyx stood over 6 feet tall, utilizing a raucous, inharmonic bellow to trigger an immediate fear response. Archaeological reconstructions reveal its design produced a jagged, thundering sound that mimicked the scream of a wounded beast. This chart shows the acoustic property of roughness. While calm human speech modulates at a predictable rate of 5 cycles per second, instruments like the Carnyx operate in a jagged 30 to 150 Hz range. This rapid modulation is biologically perceived as an alarm signal. Modern neuroimaging has identified a direct subcortical pathway, linking the ear to the amygdala, the region of the brain responsible for fear and emotional memory. This auditory low road bypasses the conscious cerebral cortex entirely. When the brain detects acoustic roughness, this pathway triggers an instantaneous adrenaline spike, flooding the body with stress hormones before we recognize what we've heard. By triggering this involuntary state, warriors force their enemies' bodies into a high-stress survival mode. This physiological reaction prioritizes immediate reflexive action over the deliberate, tactical thought required to hold a formation or execute a complex command. Sound was also used to manipulate spatial expectations. In 228 CE, the strategist Zhuge Liang saved a weakly defended city by simply sitting atop the gate and playing a stringed instrument. He relied on the sound of peaceful music to project an illusion of such supreme confidence that the approaching army assumed they were walking into a deadly ambush and retreated. During World War II, the United States Army's Ghost Army turned this form of deception into a mechanized science. Their goal was to use auditory signatures to convince German defenders that massive armored divisions were amassing miles away from the real Allied lines. Using specialized wire recorders and massive amplifiers, they broadcast the pre-recorded sounds of tanks, infantry chatter, and bridge construction. These auditory illusions were loud enough to be heard 15 miles away, successfully drawing entire enemy regiments toward a phantom force. This cross-section of the Epidaurus Theater demonstrates ancient architectural acoustics. The corrugated limestone steps act as a filter, trapping low-frequency background noise like wind, while the hard surfaces perfectly reflect the higher frequencies of the human voice back to the audience. These spatial manipulations forced observers to react to engineered realities. By controlling what was heard, leaders could dictate the physical movements and emotional states of both their enemies and their subjects. By the medieval era, sound moved from the battlefield to the belfry. The audible range of a city's church bells dictated its territorial boundaries, using a shared acoustic rhythm to synchronize public life and administration. Today, modern sound engineers utilize these same biological triggers. The jagged frequency profiles once used in ancient war homes are now carefully engineered into emergency sirens and medical alarms to ensure they instantly seize our attention. The architectural physics of resonance and diffraction, once used to amplify the voices of kings, now govern the design of our public transit hubs and communication networks, ensuring clarity in increasingly chaotic environments. Because we cannot close our ears, we remain biologically tethered to our acoustic environment. Sound remains our most visceral medium of connection, continuing to shape our perceptions as it has for millennia.